decided to skip a preamble as you know why you're here. Pick veteran, wake up in this room, and go and collect the marble off the ground. Following this, grab the map off the wall. There's a note on the table you can read. It doesn't give you any puzzle points, but some information about the game. Next, head into the closet. Search the room, and you'll find there's a book. Pick this up. It's one of 5 missing from Sheila's library, Myths and Legends of Sheila. This is everything you can do in this room. Head to the mirror, you'll notice your reflection looks a little strange. Look at the mirror, and this strange wizard in green is going to come out and give you some tips and hints on what you need to do. I'm going to skip through this dialogue largely because you're here to play the game. You're going to play it, you're going to read it yourself. I'm just telling you how to get through. Open up your magic map. You can use map or look at map and click on the pond, which is the only other location you have available to you. You have old mate fishing here on the left. You can ask him about the princess and various other things, but if you want some puzzle points, ask him about his hair. He's going to go on about beard maintenance, etc., and give you the second, the history of King Herman's mustache, of the 5 books. You can't get into that cave to the north, I've tried. Move over to this screen to meet potentially the creepiest girl and character in this entire game. She wants you to give up on the princess to instead run away with her. You can do this, giving her a ring or just telling her you love her. She'll ask you to get down on one knee and make a proclamation of your love. Should you do this, the game will end. No happy ending for you. If you do happen to find yourself using a keyboard not set up for a Slavic language, the Y will be in the correct place and it'll be much easier for you to ask her about the Carmiles, a bad bunch of people in this game. This will prompt her to give you the third of 5 books, The Carmile Family History. This is about all we can do here, so head south. This is a cave we're not going to explore. This is a screen where people will attack you. This is a screen that is largely useless. There's a wanted poster of yourself on the tree. I didn't bother grabbing it. It doesn't give you any puzzle points, but you can tear it up should you wish. Continue to track south and you are going to hear voices coming out of a cave. That's where we're going to head now. Grab the vine on the left. Simply type it and he'll grab it. We then test the vine. Once we learn how to spell. Testing the vine will yank down a rock and give us a clear path across the waterfall. Be aware it is extremely easy to fall off the edge in this screen, so go nice and slowly and make your way up to this boulder. You'll notice a red thing. It's a marble. You can't say use marble for some reason. Roll marble is what they want to hear. Roll it, it'll end up on the right, it'll knock the boulder over. Carefully traverse your way across, grab the marble, and you will find you've picked up Mercury. Continue to the right. Drop down and enter the cave to be greeted with some incredibly nostalgic and familiar music of Henry the Hermit's Cave from Quest for Glory Part 1. There's not a lot we can do in here right now because we don't have money. We also don't have an object that's going to allow us to glitch the machine and grab some free stuff. So feel free to look around, read the guest book, learn about the people who have visited here before you, which are just characters from previous Sierra games. This is basically just an Easter egg. However, you can sign the book and grab yourself a puzzle point. And then they'll make a snide remark about how you don't deserve to be in there with everyone staring at you as if you haven't already played these adventures through with them and have every right to be putting your name in this book. Whatever. With that all being done, there's nothing else to do except turn back and head outside. We've activated the ladder now so we can easily climb back up and down to get in here later, which we will be doing. Continue to track to the right and we'll head off to the graveyard. Once here, head inside and over to the open grave where you're going to be able to hit Get Shovel to grab a very useful tool. Once you've picked it up, head over to the gravestone to the left that looks like that symbol that you saw in the initial room. Dig and you'll open yourself up a new portal. this automatically gets added to your map. There's a few things to do here, but for now, let's continue. Something you'll learn about this character is that he was a general who was apparently responsible for sending many people to their deaths. That's why this lady's going to be so lovely to you until you do a mail run for her. Head inside and talk to her daughter. Ask her about the chest. It's not her chest, it's not like that. She has a box upstairs and she's going to tell you where to get the key. For now, let's play chess with this guy though. Go and have a seat at the bench. I've actually chosen to leave this entire interaction in because there are some clunky elements of this game still. Namely, trying to actually get him to play chess with you. I tried answering yes in a bunch of different ways to him asking me, can you help me with this problem? In the end, I had to say, play chess, of all things. There are quite a few things in this game where you'll find there isn't really a second or an alternate way to say it, only the one. Or if there's more than one, I couldn't figure it out. I'll leave the interaction here now, for the developers in case they want to fix this up later on. For yourself as a player, feel free to skip forward. Eventually we will type the magic words play chess and it brings up a board. The solution is remarkably simple. Move the rook one place to the left and the game will tell you why this is such a great move and how it works to checkmate the enemy. With the game completed, he tells you what a smart person you are and you can leave and head up to this board and have a read. I don't think it gives you any puzzle points, but you can read about the library and the IQ test you can take there, as well as the quest to rescue the princess. The other thing you can do in here to grab puzzle points at this stage is to play darts with this guy. I have chosen not to include it in this walkthrough because the game is extremely clunky and you do have to win to actually get the point. I'm sure they're going to figure it out, but for now it's not quite there and it's more frustrating than enjoyable. Anyway, let's head down and ask old love about her mum. She'll give us some names that we're going to need to use in the post office a little later. The name we primarily need to ask about here is Jasper. You'll find that that's the name of her father who died in battle, sent to die after being conscripted by yours truly. Let's head upstairs and I'll leave another awkward interaction of me trying to look underneath the rug. I was quite surprised to find that search works for some things but not for others in this game. In any case, it works here, gives us a key, we can use it to open the chest where we find the 4th of 5 books. This one's about potion making. Before we leave this area, we can also search underneath the bed to grab yet another marble. I say bed, I of course mean mattress. Jupiter's under here. In case you haven't figured this out yet, the planetary marbles are all about the planets in our solar system, including one that's not technically a planet, but it's still so near and dear to so many people's hearts, I'll give it to them. Grab that, head back downstairs and out the door. While we're on the subject of marbles, head over to these pots, use your marble again, and you'll find another one sitting inside this pot here. Pass back by the lovely Deborah and have a chat to this guy about his breastplate. He'll tell you about his friend Galagos, which you are also going to need once you're in the post office. So, having asked him about old mate, we can now head south to grab our very first gold coin. You'll see it glinting there, gold on the dock. Simply walk down, it'll automatically track you so you don't fall off. Grab the gold coin, and we're off. Heading off to the right, we find ourselves in front of this lovely structure here, which is the library. Walk up to the door, open it up, and meet our wonderful bench-pressing bookworm, the librarian. Let's walk up to him and ask about books. We can also ask about the missing books. Once again, no more puzzle points, but it does give you information about what you're after. Give him the missing books we've picked up, and you should grab a puzzle point for each one of them. Following that, ask him about the IQ test. As your intelligence goes up the more quests you complete, your intelligence is going to be pretty low at the moment. As you can see, our intelligence will only be 21. I believe the minimum score you need to do the test is 20, so after completing this, he'll give you a couple of items, a ruler and a chunk of titanite. Until we pick up the last book, there isn't a whole lot that we can earn still in the library, just exploring. But having a look at the scroll and the books on the counter, including the open one that gives you some tips on sword fighting, spoiler alert, it just says aim for the legs and then their body becomes more vulnerable. There are a couple of cool titles on the shelves that you can read for a laugh, as well as a couple of things on the counter you can read for some Easter eggs, and just an amazing soundtrack to enjoy while you're doing it all. Once you're finished here, let's head back outside and we'll head east. Coming to the eastern edge of the map for the first time, we find a well. We can raise the bucket to find a gold coin on the bottom. Also, if we put our marble inside, we can get our next planetary marble. Having collected Neptune, we can head down to the rock and push it. This will reveal the next portal point. That being done, there's nothing else we can do here. You can grab more coins from underneath the bucket until you have 10 gold, at which point it will stop working. But if we keep tracking north, we're going to find this place with a skull and a well and a whole bunch of flowers. If we have a look at the flowers, we'll find we can pick them up. There are several people in the game who we can actually give them to, and you'll get 1 point for each. None are necessary though. The game will prompt you and tell you when you have enough flowers. So with that being done, let's head down the well to the last known place that we saw Princess Julian. Descending the chain, we find ourselves in this scary cave. There's a dead body on the ground, a sword, and a couple of things that look like marbles. Let's have a read of the note first. It gives us a bit of information about the person being driven crazy by voices in his head. We get the image that there is going to be a scary ghost at some point in this cave. Use your marble to grab the next marble on the ground. Having added Pluto to our collection, as long as it's a hilarious explanation for why it should be included in the planetary set, we can head down and search the body. On the body we'll find a block which is going to be useful in the graveyard, as well as a piece of paper that will resolve into an image. That's going to be stored into our notes. We also find his blow dart gun and a pack of darts. For my Aussie mates, no, that does not mean cigarettes. Once we're finished there, head over to grab the sword and we'll be greeted by the first of 2 ghosts. Fortunately, this one is not angry and won't try and kill us. We can ask him a couple of questions to grab some information. Asking about Carmyle, we discovered that the dead guy on the ground is actually one of their family members, and he had been down here looking for Julian. With that conversation done, we're done in this room. Head to the north and you'll see a bunch of flesh-eating bugs sitting over a corpse. What you want to do is use your blowgun to shoot the blue light directly above the grate. That's going to send a flood of water out that's going to blow away the corpse as well as the bugs, clearing the way into the next chamber. This next room provides the first real challenge I found in this game. You got a ghost that's going to run at you and kill you as soon as he touches you. The only way you can avoid him is to shoot these blue things to allow water into the room that block his path. Unfortunately, it also blocks yours. I'm going to leave this bit in where I died here. As you can see, I trap him behind this blue line, but as he comes up with me, if I try and trap him underneath the next one, it won't work, and once this line disappears, he's going to kill me. Fortunately, you can just leave the room to reset the puzzle. Coming back in, you'll see exactly which ones you need to hit to get past. You actually can do this in 1, I think. I've done it in 2, but considering it gets rid of your blow dart gun and removes any darts you have remaining at the end of this stage, there's not really any point in hanging on to them. Blocking him on that side and giving myself a free run to the top, I leave the cave. It's at this point you lose any remaining darts that you had. We pop out of the cave to find ourselves eavesdropping on a conversation on the 2 soldiers who were fighting in the screen to the north when we first arrived. There isn't really much information we need here, except for a code word that we need to use on a squirrel that we're going to meet shortly. You'll find they're talking about their boss and how he said copycat to the squirrel. That's what we're going to need very shortly. Once the conversation's done, you really just need to walk over to the left to make them leave. You'll hide behind the tree automatically. Once they've headed off, we can pull out our magic map and head back to the graveyard to use that slab we found inside the cave. Back in the graveyard, we head to the big building up to the north. We're going to see 2 plates here, one to the right and a gravestone on the left. The writing of them will be relevant. We're going to use the shovel on the coffin here, or sarcophagus, however you want to spell it. It's going to pull the lid off and reveal a plate underneath. This is one of the harder, if not the hardest puzzles in the game. Normally you find these things coming in 3x3 or 4x4 where you have 1 block spare and you have to move them all around to form a picture. The picture you actually already have picked up. It was the paper that was wrapped around the stone plate you found down in the cave. Just hit Control N if you want to have a look at this. Bring up notes and have a crack at the image. If you're finding that all a bit hard, like I sure as hell did, you can go to YouTube and find a tutorial for how to solve these types of puzzles, not this particular one. Or you can click a square that doesn't move 13 times, bringing up this little blue box. Click that and the puzzle will be solved automatically, allowing you access into the crypt. Climb down the ladder into the crypt, and the light will pretty much immediately shut off. There's a candle on the table down below you. Just say light fire or light candle and you'll use your stupid kit or the flint contained therein to light it up. Once you've got your light, read the note on the table. It'll tell you there's nothing worth grabbing in this room. Head across these plates, being careful not to fall down, and it'll take you to the second room. This room has 3 notes you need to find in order to solve a puzzle to get back out. The game seems to say it's time sensitive, implying that you're running out of oxygen, or blatantly telling you you're running out of oxygen. And it is styled after a Sierra game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to murder you at every opportunity. Once again, we see a couple of the small issues with this game, trying to search the sarcophagus. Which one do we actually do? Search doesn't actually work, but look at does. So, looking at the coffin gives you one of the scraps of paper. Once you've got this, head up to the cabinet on the wall and try and open it. This will pull the handle off, giving you a handle which you will need for later. You'll notice a hole in the actual cabinet as it fell off the wall. You need to search this. Once again, it's a little bit clunky with the commands. It won't accept search hole. It won't even accept search cabinet. Right on cue with me struggling for commands, it gives me a message telling me that my candle's burning out, my oxygen is running out, and I only have a short time to solve this. I can't get the cabinet, but what I can do is look at the hole. This gives me another map that isn't going to be used just yet, and it also gives me the second part to the note. The last thing that we need to do is the dial on the wall. Once we have all 3 pages, it tells us that this eternal man had 2 girls to his left, 2 girls to his right. He was blue, they were blonde, and then there was blood below. We have 3 colours on the dial, blue, yellow, and red. We can assume that the 2 blonde girls are to his left, him being blue in the middle, 2 blonde girls to his right, and the death or blood or whatever is the 4 red things underneath. Put in this combination, it'll open the door back up, give you some light, some oxygen, and get rid of the time limit. You'll also notice a small spiral pattern on the dirt here. Dig there, and you'll find the last library book that was missing. This is what we need to get the item that's going to help us break the arcade machine. Head back out, being careful not to fall down once again, and this time we realise we can't leave because if we step on the plate under the ladder, it's going to close us back in again. What we want to do is move the table and then climb the table in order to climb back out. This will prevent us reactivating the trap and allow us back into that sweet, sweet freedom. I'll throw this in here as well. If we actually go and read the stone before or after doing the puzzle, it gives us the riddle thing, and down the bottom it says, push but fail to move a block. In a row 13 times will undo the lock. That's where we get that hint. Anyway, we're now done in the graveyard, so moving right along. Let's head on south out of the graveyard, track to the right and head back to the library to return that last missing book. Handing it over will give us one more puzzle point, and the magnet, which we're going to use to glitch the machine and break the high score. So let's start running and head back to the Heroes Retirement Center, the cave above the waterfall. Climb up the ladder that we previously revealed by heading in. And we talk to Henry once more. This time head straight over to the machine and use the magnet. Now, you don't actually need to play the game after you glitch it. You'll notice the high score is already at 4 9s. This has now been assigned to you. However, why the hell not play it? It's a minigame, it's fun, you've already put your money in. The game itself is pretty simple. Just move up and down to grab coins, try and dodge ships, which you see me not doing here, and you can occasionally use a bomb when you pick it up to blow everything up, which is much more cleverly used when the game goes to super speed like it did just then. But no matter how many rings you pick up, you can't increase your score. It's stuck at 9999, which puts you at the top of the leaderboard. Checking that, we see Erasmus and Henry the Hermit have been completely knocked out. So, Henry will tell you a secret to finding marbles, which we've basically been doing anyway, just use the marble whenever you walk into a room. But it'll also give you a Titanite flask from Erasmus for having beaten him. None of these things are game essential, but they do give you points to your score, and it is all about trying to max that out to 150. So, let's leave, climb down, and get into our very first fight. Heading north, this screen will always have an enemy coming out to try and fight you. Unfortunately, it's not like Quest for Glory where you can fight them endlessly because your health does go down, you only have 2 health potions in this game. So, spacebar until we hit legs, and then just keep hitting up until you knock his legs out. Not having picked up any armor yet, you will lose health pretty quickly, and I think it also affects how much damage you do. You can try and get the timing for the blocking. I think it actually does work, and I've done parrying before, but whatever. Let's just smash his legs, smash his body, kill him, search his body, get that sweet, sweet loot. I think I got 30 gold the first time I killed someone, only 9 this time, but considering I needed it for the arcade machine, whatever. There's some flowers I thought I could take, it turns out you can't. Typing in look flowers will only look at the ones you've already got in your inventory. Anyway, having killed him, let's move on. I realised in my incredibly efficient playstyle I forgot to go and give Henry the Hermit a flower. This gets us a skill point, and there are a few people we can give flowers to as I said before, so let's start doing that. It'll appear in a little vase on his table, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there it is. So, heading back out, let's head to the north and give one to the crazy stalker lady. We're going to encounter another soldier, we always will on this screen. Just run north, you'll avoid him, he's not worth the effort. Run over to crazy flower lady who's now shooting arrows. It's always nice to see a crazy bunny boiler who's also armed and knows how to use a weapon. Giving her a flower is going to get you the prompt for her to profess your love to her. Should you do this, remember, the game ends, so do not do it. No swearing of oaths, no creepy stalker ladies, just get a skill point and run the hell away. So either using your map or running, head back to the well and south. It's time to grab us a flying machine. You can have a chat to this guy here, but he doesn't really give you any information and there's no puzzle points, so why bother? We can't go south in any of the bridges. It's just one of those ways the game's prevented you from actually keeping inside the sandbox. Come over here, find the kite, get the kite, and have a read of the note. You'll notice these swirly things that indicate wind, and the writer of the note says that his son nearly blew away. This is important because we're about to do it ourselves with something we picked up inside the crypt. So, head north, up to this nice stone staircase, and to this incredibly windy spot. You'll notice an acorn blowing in the wind on the end of the tree. This is something we want to grab. Having taken the acorn, we now attach our metal pole to the kite. Or bar, either way. This is going to fly us over past a lightning device which you can see there in the glass mirror and get us to this house. Getting into the house, however, is a little bit tricky. We see a panel to the left of the door. This is going to be our key in. Typing in open panel is what's going to give us access to this screen. What we're trying to do is direct a flow of energy. The yellow triangles indicate energy coming out, the blue triangles indicate energy coming in. We throw this one in the center with the 3 blue triangles, and then we have the energy coming out of the yellow ones, through the holes, into the blue ones, completing a complete circuit. The completed pattern looks like that. you'll get your electricity thing arcing up and the door will open. In here we find Colin the mad scientist in his workshop. Maybe he's not mad, but it's Colin. We can do a couple of things here. Starting a conversation, he'll tell us a little bit about himself. He takes titanite and turns it into flasks. He also experiments with goggles, and he also likes flowers. So we're going to give him one of them, ask him about goggles to get a pair of these prototype ones that help him pick out specific words and codes among jumbles. That's going to help us inside the post office. You'll see why very, very shortly. And I've also learnt that it helps us out at the end of the game with another puzzle as well. Anyway, having been given them, which of course have a Groucho Marx nose and moustache on them, we can give him our titanite in order to get a titanite flask. That's all we can do for now, so let's head back outside. Our next stop we've already passed before. It's the Dock Customs Office and also the Post Office. It's an ode to bureaucracy, an absolute ridiculous amount of forms that you need to do a tiny amount of work. So, unlike the real world, we're going to go and do it ourselves. Coming in we see an absolute cluster of mail that hasn't been delivered. First things first, let's use our marble. Head over to the desk, drop it on the floor, and have it attract our new marble, the Uranus. Perfect place for a government place of business. Now on to business. Let's use our goggles, and the whole place is going to light up differently. We now need to type in the names of the people that have mail waiting. We'll do Colin first to pick up the package for the inventor of the goggles. Then, we're going to grab the things for the people at the inn. So, use the goggles again, and the first name we type in will be that of our breastplate-wearing friend, Galagos. Finding Galagos' letter, the goggles once again turn themselves off, so we put them back on. This is the most important letter that we need now. It's the one from Jasper. This is going to make Deborah start actually treating us nicely. So, with those 3 items picked up, we're done in the post office. Let's head back outside. Once outside, continue left, we're heading back to the inn. First stop, up to Deborah, the lovely, loving General Butt Dump, seriously? Give her a letter. It'll be from her husband, it'll make her feel good even though we did technically still kill him. But she'll be nice now, she'll allow me to buy meat. We can also give her a flower. This gives us a discount on the meat of, well, 5 gold. She gives it to us for free. Okay, we can't ask for meat apparently. Can we buy chicken? We can buy chicken. Free chicken for us. So, we get the chicken, we then head over to give old mate his letter from Galagos. I'm kind of close enough. He apparently doesn't want flowers. Yep, nope, no flowers. There's a place for it behind him, I guess. He could put it in the barrel. Whatever. Let's give him the letter. So, we get a breastplate from that, our first piece of armor, 1 of 4. It makes us stronger and better at fighting, even though we don't really fight in this game at all. But if we did fight in this game, one thing we would need is plenty of flasks. So, we give a flower to Wildlove over here, as well as one of our flasks, and she'll be able to make us a healing potion. She'll also sell them to us for 5 gold each now, which you can really get from fighting people quite easily. So I think getting potions from this girl, you can really fight as much as you want, although you don't really do anything with the gold, so there's not much point. It is a bit of fun though, and I'm happy to stretch the longevity of a game like this out for as long as possible. So, with all this stuff done, what have we got? 1 piece of armor, we've got all the 5 missing books. Let's head back out. Now, funny little Easter egg here. Well, maybe not an Easter egg. I figured out you can't use the map on this screen. If you actually do look at the map, it gives you this tiny little thing that you can't actually use. So, you need to get off this screen in order to use your magical map to get to the next location. Or you could just run, but I'm lazy. Fine, I'll stop being lazy. I literally just talked about extending the game's longevity. Let's run. All the way past the well, it's time to play with some critters. We see the two guys fighting once again, and to this new screen that we haven't looked at yet. Here we find a pleasant little squirrel friend. He comes up to us because we have something he wants. That is, of course, the acorn. Give him said acorn and make him our friend for life. He will now activate the puzzle. There's a little plate up here that we can read, and it basically just tells us we need to work in synchronization. As we listened to the conversation before, we know what secret phrase we have to give this guy. It is, of course, copy cat. Must be 2 words, can't be 1, just one of those weird game things. He'll now run off into this position, and we can enter in this conversation by stepping on it. You'll see these arrows here going up to the left, down to the... Wait, no, that was up to the right, down to the left. Whatever, you see the arrows. Jump on that plate, move up and to the right, he'll move down and to the left, it opens the door, and we are through. As he is our friend for life, he follows us on in. This little marker is dedicated to 2 people that we're going to meet very shortly. Grab your shovel out and dig, pulling a ring out of the ground, and then continue to the right, where you're going to meet a young lady playing a guitar in a very mysterious and haunting way. Asking her about her name will reveal that she is Sarah, matching the S that we found in the pathway earlier. We can then ask her about her husband, the G, Gaia. He's the guy that actually kidnapped the princess. This turns out to be the ghost of his wife sitting on her grave. Show her the ring and she'll disappear. She then realises it was hers and leaves a letter on the stone which you can read. Reading this letter basically says that because of you he blames you for her death, and that's why he decided to kidnap the princess and frame you for it. While we're here we can leave a flower on the grave. This will give us a puzzle point, and then we can leave. Now that we have the ring, it is a very important thing for the end of the game. We're pretty much done. We can head to the cave with the troll and start the endgame stuff. Let's go. Now, just before we go, you can actually go and ask this guy about the secret passage. He's the one that gives you all the information to get through it. You don't really need it, and there is actually some information we can get from the post office, so we'll go and do that as well. But it is going to help you out. So, if you're not intending to just follow everything I say in this walkthrough, ask him about the secret passage and he'll tell you about it. Finishing up with him, head back to the customer's office, look at the barrel, and you'll see another image that will copy into your file. This is going to become relevant in the caves. Now that we've copied this map down, there's only one more thing to do. Head back to the library. Once inside, give old mate a flower. I had forgotten before, but it gives us a skill point. Well, skill point, score point, whatever. There are no skill points in this. We've now done a whole bunch of stuff though, and we should be able to take the test with an increased intelligence. So, seeing ourselves at 38, we get the gauntlets, our second piece of armour. Let's head back outside and off to the cave. Actually remembering, there is one more flower we can do. This brings us to 100. We can now head into the cave. Once we find ourselves in the cave face to face with the troll, we want to use the chicken. This will make us smell in a certain way that makes him want nothing to do with us. Apparently we can fight him. Probably if you had all the armor pieces it'd be a lot easier and a couple of healing potions. I didn't try. You don't need to worry about it. It doesn't give you any more skill points. I don't think there's any point. So, he gives us a task. We have to tell him the height of the highest pillar in his cave. That'll be in the second room. So first off, let's search this pile here. We'll find a gold coin and then walk our way over into the second room. It's very dark here and we can't really see anything, but we can search the pile and find ourselves some explosives. First thing we need to do is use the explosives. Dynamite apparently doesn't work. We have to use explosives and actually type use. So, using the stupid kit to light the fuse, we throw the dynamite at the roof, this blows it open, and let there be light. Now, in order to measure the pillars, we can't actually reach the top one, so we measure the pillar initially, and then measure the pillar's shadow. This shows us that the ratio is 2 to 3. So, if the pillar is 15 mustaches high, and the shadow is 10, it means that if we measure this shadow, it has to be 1/3 more than its shadow. So if 34 is 2, obviously 17 is 1, and the height is 51. So head back to the troll, tell him you would like to answer the riddle. Yes, we would like to. We type in 51 and we are done. In we go to the secret passage behind the troll. Now, this is where those 2 maps that we found are going to come in handy. We open our notes, go to the images, and first check the top of the barrel. Up, up, right, up, left. That's where we're going. Making our final turn, we find a chest. Inside the chest, our 3rd piece of armor. So, open the chest, grab the helmet, and click the green button, which will return us to the start of the maze. So, back at the entrance, let's crack the notes out again and have a look at the other map. We need to go left, up, right, up, left. Let's do that now. Now, while coming through here, remember that the green button is your get out of jail free card. If you ever feel you're getting lost, hit it and you'll go right back to the start. If you do follow it correctly, you'll find yourself in this room with a flaming mouthed face and 2 statues of armor. Grab the bow off the ground, it'll release the pressure plate. However, the second statue has already been deactivated, so there's nothing to worry about. Place the bow on the ground and it will activate the first trap, setting off the arrow. Get the arrow out of the wall and then move up and push the statue. This will move it in front of the flaming mouth along that groove in the ground that is coloured pink. Once we move the statue, grab the torch out of the wall, walk forward and use the bow. This will sever the rope, allowing us to grab it and Indiana Jones our way across the chasm. Coming into the next room, we will find a code on the floor. We also find a panel on the wall and a note. What you're trying to do is spell out the word "you may pass" on the floor, as per the instructions from the guard on the secret passage. However, as it is a code, we can use our goggles to get through this immediately, or we can press the buttons in this order. The first gets pressed once, then the second twice, third 3 times, fourth 4 times. Do this for the row and the column, totaling 3 and 4, and it will spell the word "you may pass." If you do choose to use the goggles, just type "use goggles." Tell it you're looking for the word phrase "you may pass," and it will actually do it for you automatically. Once that's done, head over, place the torch in the holder, and climb up the ladder. In this next room, you're going to see a couple of sparkly things, one on the floor, one on the shelves. It'll come up periodically as the moon passes. Walk down to the first one and type in "look at floor." Once again, search doesn't work. You'll pick up your fourth and final bit of armour, the greaves. Walk over to the shelf, look at them, and you'll find yourself some darts. Once again, not cigarettes. Finished in this room, let's walk up the stairs. The next bit isn't so complicated. You can either walk left or right and shoot your dart gun. You're basically looking to shoot just ahead of the people that are coming down the stairs to lead them. The first guy comes slower, the second guy comes faster. First guy goes down pretty easy, the second guy, let's actually fight him. I'll show you how quickly he moves. Once again, you've now got all the super armour, so the combat's going to be an absolute piece of piss. Take out his legs, 3 hits, and then work his body. You can see his sword's barely doing any damage against us at all. At this point you can drink a healing potion if you like, but trust me, you won't need it for the next fight. Don't waste your darts on this guy, he's completely covered in armour. However, this armour is going to cause an issue for him. Say you're ready, jump on in. Even if you feel you're not, you notice this guy now can't move because his armour is too heavy. So give him a couple of whacks and he's taken out. Head up the last few stairs and you find yourself inside the dungeon. Once you're in here, you'll notice everyone's blindfolded. Walk around and grab the blindfolds off all the 5 prisoners as well as the blindfolds sitting on the ground. As you pick up the blindfolds, you'll notice you're automatically tying them together, and this rope down the bottom of the screen's getting bigger and bigger. Once you've got all 6, activate the lever. Activating the lever will open the trapdoor. The princess is down here. Walk to the northern end and use your rope. Julian will come up, give you a bit of a smack on the lips, turn your face pink for some reason, and tell you that Lieutenant Geyer is on his way. She'll tell you to get him to step onto the trap, and you'll say, "I have something that is dear to him." Obviously this is talking about the ring. Now it is possible to fight him, I didn't bother, you get more points from actually using the ring. We'll drink a potion just because in case a fight does break out, I'll be at 100% health and I've got 2 potions anyway, so whatever. But, that being done, he's now going to count, I'll use the ring, throw that on the trapdoor, he's now going to get distracted. He walks to the trapdoor, Julian drops him down, and we are free. We get out of there, however, the story progresses. I'll leave this on for you to watch if you're interested, but that's the game done. That gets you 148 of 150 points. The other 2, as I said, I think you get them from playing the dart game. If you want to have a go at that, go nuts. I couldn't be bothered. But that is Betrayed Alliance Book 1. 148 of 150 points. If you want to grab the other 2, you're welcome to it. I'll be looking forward to Book 2 in the meantime. Thank you very much for watching, and an even bigger thank you to YJ Slattery for making the game and releasing it for free. Please get over there, download it, and play to your heart's content. Take it easy, guys. And if it's easy, take it twice.